Hello everyone and welcome to the final ACMi sports update of the 2021 to 2022 high school sports season.
It has been quite a year for Arlington sports, and we have a number of highlights and stars to talk about today.
So settle in and enjoy the final and very special ACMi sports update of this exciting Arlington sports year. Let's start things off with the boys and girls soccer teams. Both soccer teams won the Middlesex League this year and advanced quite far in their respective playoff runs. First, we'll recap the girls soccer season. One of the top stars for girls soccer was senior captain Ella Ray. Taking down Winchester in their 2-1 victory was the biggest highlight of their season and helped secure the league title. They also made a long run in the playoffs, starting their journey against Shrewsbury and winning 4-0 and advancing all the way before falling in Sweet 16 action to Acton-Boxborough. Although they suffered a tough loss in the playoffs, they left it all out on the field with a final record of 15-4-1.
Wow, what a run nonetheless. The boys soccer team also had quite the run as well.
Yes, they have. The boys had an undefeated 12-0-5 record in the regular season. Among the stars on the team were forward Diego Barrientos and goalie Eric Widrick, who will be playing for Colgate College next year. Barrientos frequently found the net and was a consistent spark plug on the shooting end, while Widrick had an astounding 13 shutouts and never gave up more than one goal on the saving end. The MIA playoff started for Arlington on Saturday, November 6th versus Beverly. The boys put on a show for the home fans and won by a final score of 2-1. It was also one of the most watched games of the season for ACMi Sports. Unfortunately, they suffered a heartbreaking 1-0 loss versus Brookline back at Pierce Turf and saw their season end on their first loss of the season. However, it's hard to get too down about either team's season in which they were one of the best soccer teams in Massachusetts and advanced in the playoffs.
Now we look back at the girls volleyball team season, as they also had a tremendous season with standout star Fiona Rigby, a George Mason University commit, who led the team to a 12-8 record. They started strong, defeating Methuen in the first round of the MIA playoffs, but fell short and ended up losing the next round, which ended their season.
That will lead us to another fall sports team, the football team. While their path through the season was turbulent, as the Spy Ponders won every other game last season and finished with a 5-5 record, they ended on a high note with a 49-7 win over Waltham on Thanksgiving Day. The Thanksgiving game was one of the best football games we caught on camera. Sophomore Caden Mills was the starting running back for Arlington, as well as one of their starting linebackers, and he seemed downright unstoppable on both sides of the ball. Fellow sophomore Darian Cherry was another standout linebacker, often teaming up with Mills to take down opposing quarterbacks. Jake Schiano also thrived in the starting quarterback role and is certainly grateful to have had the protection of offensive lineman and senior captain Shane Broughton. Marcus Jean Jack may have been Arlington's best player, and he was certainly their most versatile. Jean Jack scored as a wide receiver, running back, defensive back, and return man. He always seemed to have more energy and speed than the opponent and was able to find the end zone numerous times because of his speed and shiftiness. This year, the MIAA Football League had some seriously good teams like Woburn Memorial, but Arlington showed great poise and a short memory to always pick themselves back up off the ground after a loss and forget it, and then go out and win the next one.
The girls field hockey team also had a productive fall. They played very well and stayed consistent all year long, and the Spy Ponders finished with a 10-2-5 record. Taking on Natick High School in the first round of the playoffs, the girls came up clutch and won 4-0 at home on November 5th. Unfortunately, the tables turned the next time they played, and they lost 3-0 at Wachusett Regional. Still a season with a winning record, and a win in playoffs is not one to be too sorry over.
The 2021 fall season was one of the best seasons an athletics program could ask for. All AHS varsity teams had a combined win percentage of over 80%, and 4 out of the 5 competitive teams made it all the way to the third round of the playoffs.
We now transition from the fall to the winter season, starting with the boys and girls basketball teams. The girls had a tough season, ending with a 4-17 record. Senior captain Naomi Olsen was the lead scorer and helped the team earn a lot of their points. Although their season was not the most successful, and they did not qualify for the MIAA playoffs, their team held a strong camaraderie and environment.
The girls' team certainly stuck together through an up-and-down season, but they always had a good turnout in the crowd because of their charisma as a team.
The boys' team had a stronger season with a 7-12 record for the season. Basketball star Will Chun's season-ending injury created a problem for the team, but William Safak really came out of the weeds and helped lead the team to multiple victories.
Now shifting from the court onto the ice for a look back at the boys and girls hockey season. We advise you to prepare for possibly the two most exciting Arlington sports seasons. The boys team had a plethora of talented players such as captains Reed Malatesta and Mike Dunning and sophomores Jack Sadowski and Brendan Hirsch. The boys were the number 6 team overall in Massachusetts with a remarkable 16-3-1 record and made a serious bid for the MIAA state championship before falling just short in double overtime against Xaverian Brothers High School in the Frozen Four by a final score of 5-4.
Wow, what a season! If I remember correctly, the girls hockey team also put on quite a show on the ice this year.
You are correct. The girls team, led by Middlesex League MVP Maddie Krapelka and star defender Grace Corsetti, finished their season with an eye-popping 18-1-1 record. As the number 2 team in Massachusetts, they went all the way to the MIAA state championship game where the Spy Ponders faced the only team they had lost to in the regular season, the undefeated and number 1 ranked Austin Prep.
The game was the battle everyone had been waiting for. The public school enjoying a dream season versus the state championship frequent visitor private school.
Arlington got off to a rough start but hung close after this goal by freshman Livy Corsetti and was narrowly trailing 2-1 after one period. The second period was highlighted by amazing saves by both Elise Rod of Arlington and Lauren Hannafin of Austin Prep between the pipes, and neither side found the net.
Austin Prep was clearly getting more shots off and finally broke through the strong barrier of Elise Rod to extend their lead to 3-1 and sealed the deal with an open net goal to win the MIAA state championship 4-1. Regardless, both the boys and girls hockey teams had an amazing season and did much better than anyone expected, anyone except the faithful town of Arlington. The swimming teams each performed very well this year. The girls team competed in the fall and they won their final 8 matches straight after losing their first one to finish with a record of 8-1. The boys swam in the fall and they too finished their season with a winning record, with the final tally being 5 wins and 2 losses.
The wrestling team at Arlington High School was another team that had a very productive winter. They finished their season with a strong 6-2 record and never lost at home in the Pit, the classic venue for Arlington wrestling.
As we transition into spring sports, let's take a moment to talk about the tennis teams. Both the boys and girls tennis teams at Arlington High School have had an outstanding season so far. The girls tennis season officially ended their regular season with a 16-4 record. They are currently ranked 9th in the state, which will give them a good matchup going into the MIAA playoffs. They hope to have a strong run, but they have already had many season highlights, including beating Winchester for the first time in program history, and also finished their seasons tied with Winchester for second in the Middlesex League. The boys tennis team ended their regular season with a 13-7 record and also have a good shot for a long playoffs run.
The baseball team hasn't finished their season just yet, but the Spy Ponders are already looking forward to playing in the playoffs and making a run for the state championship. Bright spots for Arlington are senior captains and brothers Max and Josh Garner. Dylan Walsh has also mixed things up this year, starting at both second base and pitcher, and has also been their consistent leadoff hitter. The baseball team's current record is 14-4, and they have 2 more regular season games left. The trend for most Arlington teams this year is winning, and it does not stop at the baseball team.
Things are looking good for the baseball team, but is Arlington High School's softball team performing at the same level?
They most certainly are. While there have been some slumps, they have performed at a very high level all season long. The Spy Ponders started their season on a 6-game winning streak before losing 3 in a row. From there, Arlington won 4 out of their next 5 games before suffering through another 3-game losing streak. Their season is closing in on a finish, but if the softball team can maintain a plus 500 win percentage, with their current record sitting comfortably at 10-7, they should be in a good position when the playoffs come.
Both lacrosse teams have rectified themselves from last season when neither teams made the playoffs or had a 500 record. The boys team currently has a 7-8 record with 2 games left in the regular season, and winning both would take them to playoffs. Senior captain Diego Doherty has definitely been a standout, scoring the most goals and helping them clinch important wins. The girls team has a 12-4 record and already secured their spot in the playoffs. Senior captain Maria DeCoblitz has helped lead the team to an outstanding season, scoring 5 goals against Belmont High School for their senior night. Congratulations to both teams for being able to pull out of last year's slump and have seasons to be proud of.
Now, last but certainly not least, the running teams for Arlington High School. The winter and spring track and field teams each performed well, and the spring track team was actually the most populated team in Arlington sports history with 170 members, or over 13% of the school, but the cross-country teams were the ones that excelled the most. The varsity girls team was undefeated with a 6-0 record, and the varsity boys team was 5-1. Both cross-country teams also won the Division 1B championship to put the cherry on top of their excellent seasons. Congratulations to all of the running teams on their great seasons.
Congratulations to all Arlington sports teams on productive and exciting seasons. We'd also like to give a special shout out to the entire volunteer base that make up ACMi Sports. They've been at as many of the home games as possible across the different sports to deliver the action to viewers at home. Because of their dedicated contributions and passion, we can also relive all the best games from the year. A big thank you to the entire sports crew.
It has also been a pleasure to produce the ACMi Sports Update for faithful viewers like you. Thank you for always watching our content. And remember, ACMi Sports is a volunteer-driven production and we can always use the help. If you'd like to contribute, feel free to join the team by emailing us at sports@acmi.tv.
One more thing, a big shout out to ACMi for making it all happen. Speaking of which, ACMi has created a brand new studio here at the Red Gym at Arlington High School. No better way to end this season of the Sports Update than doing so from a brand new facility.
Indeed, and for one final time, that's all for this week's Sports Update.
I'm Ariel Tamir-Pinsky.
And I'm Xander Lee. Thank you for watching.